chapter body fluids and circulation. So basically in circulation, movement to and fro or around something, especially that of fluid in a closed system. So when a system is closed and there is a movement to and fro or around something of a fluid is called a circulation, a basic explanation of circulation. Now blood is a mobile fluid connective tissue. So blood is a mobile fluid connective tissue. Composed of a fluid, the plasma and the cells, the blood corpuscles. Blood corpuscles. Plasma is slightly alkaline, non-living intercellular substance which constitutes about 60% part of the blood. So 60% is covered by the blood. It is a pale yellow but transparent and clear fluid. So water alone forms about 90 to 92% of plasma. So 90 to 92% of plasma water alone forms about this many percent of plasma. Plasma proteins constitute about 7 to 8% part of plasma. These mainly include albumin, globulin, thrombin and fibrinogen. Plasma without clotting factor is called serum. So now serum is plasma without clotting. Where there is no clotting, it is called as serum. Erythrocytes, leukocytes and platelets are collectively called formed elements. So formed elements are erythrocytes, leukocytes and platelets are collectively called formed elements. So erythrocytes or red blood cells, RBCs, have a red colored iron containing complex protein called as hemoglobin. Okay, so there is erythrocyte, leukocyte and platelets which are collectively called as formed element, and then RBC, that is nothing but erythrocyte which has red in color, iron containing complex protein called as hemoglobin. Now leukocyte, also known as white blood cells. So this is RBC, this is WBC, that is leukocytes, are colorless. They are of two types. So WBCs are of two types, that is granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes and agranulocytes. Now granulocytes is nothing but neutrophils, eosinophils and basophils. Agranulocytes are lymphocytes and monocytes. Neutrophils are the most abundant cells of the total WBCs. Neutrophils and monocytes are phagocytic, which destroy foreign organisms entering the body. Now phagocytic cells means there is some foreign particle here and there is a phagocyte cell. Suppose like this. This phagocyte cell is going to attack a cell by taking it all over and gulping this. It will eat up this cell, foreign particle. So this is known as phagocytic cell. Now basophils secrete histamine, serotonin, heparin, etc. and are involved in inflammatory reactions. Eosinophils resist infections and are also associated with allergic reactions. Now lymphocytes are of two major types. So lymphocytes are of two major types, B and T forms. So it is B form and T form. Responsible for immune responses of the body. Platelets, also called thrombocytes. Platelets are also called as thrombocytes. Can release a variety of substance, most of which are involved in the clotting of blood. Now, Carl Langestier reported ABO blood groups. So he reported ABO blood groups first time in human beings, which are determined by the gene isoglutinin. There are three alleles, IA, IB and IO of these genes. Proteins produced by IA and IB alleles are called A antigen and B antigen respectively. So these two are called as A antigen and B antigen respectively. So now there is human ABO blood group and their compatibility. So this is the blood group. That is A, B, AB and O. Now genotype, antigens on red blood corpuscles, antibodies in blood plasma, antibodies in blood plasma, can give blood to and can get blood from, can get blood from. So this is a table which will give you all the details. So blood group A will have genotype IA or IAIO. Antigens on red blood corpuscles would be A. Antibodies in blood plasma would be B. Can give blood to A and AB and can get blood from A or O. B genotype would be IB or IBIO. Antigens on red blood corpuscles is B and antibodies in blood plasma is A. Can give blood to B or AB and can get blood from B or O. O is basically universal. Now AB is IAIB. Antigen on red blood corpuscle is AB. Antibodies in blood plasma none and can give blood to AB and can get blood from all. O genotype IO. Antigen on red blood corpuscle none. Antibodies is A and B. Can give blood to all and can get blood from O. So now when antigen on red blood cells, suppose this is the red blood cell RBC, antigen on it is A, the first one I am considering. Blood group A है, genotype IA or IAIO. तो antigen on red blood cells RBC, antigen is A. The blood which is flowing and the antigen on red blood corpuscles would be, antibodies in blood plasma would be, this is the blood plasma suppose. So antibodies in the blood plasma would be B. So here the antibodies are B and the antigens are A. So can give blood to only A because this is the type which they take in A or B. तो A या AB. B can't take place if B comes in or O comes in. it will detect a foreign thing and it will reject. So the only blood which can get in is A or AB, and it can give blood to A or AB and can get blood from only A or O. O being a universal because O doesn't have any. Suppose this is a RBC and I am taking the O, so it doesn't have any antigen on it, and the blood plasma is AB. So there is no antigen on the O blood group, so O can take in. A protein named as resinous antigen is present on the surface of red blood corpuscle in many persons when the Rh negative mother is pregnant with Rh positive fetus. So now let's see about rhesus antigen. When the Rh negative mother is pregnant with Rh positive fetus, this is the mother and she has Rh positive fetus. Rh antigens of the fetus do not get exposed to the Rh negative blood of the mother in the first pregnancy, as the blood of the mother and blood of the fetus are well separated by the placenta. However, during the delivery of the first child, there is a possibility of exposure of the maternal blood to small amount of the Rh positive blood from the fetus. In such cases, mothers start preparing antibodies against Rh antigen in her blood. In case of her subsequent pregnancies, the Rh antibodies from the mother can leak into the blood of the fetus and destroy the fetal RBC. Now, because of mother is negative and fetus is positive, if this blood gets into baby, there might be, so it get against, the antibodies are against it. In case of her subsequent pregnancies, the Rh antibodies from the mother can leak into the blood of the fetus and destroy the fetal RBC. So, if an opposite blood group goes into other, it might destroy the RBCs. So, this could be fatal to the fetus or could cause severe anemia and jaundice to the baby. This condition is called erythroblastosis fetalis. This condition is called erythroblastosis fetalis. So this is when fetus has a positive Rh and mother has a negative Rh. Blood clotting. Now let's go on to blood clotting. At the site of an injury, the blood platelet disintegrate and release a phospholipid called platelet factor 3. Injured tissues also release a lipoprotein factor called as thromboplastin. These two factors combine with calcium ions and certain protein of the blood plasma to form an enzyme. So this will combine with the calcium ions. They'll combine with calcium ions and give us prothrombinase. Now prothrombinase catalyze breakdown of prothrombin into an active protein called as thrombin. And some small peptide fragments. Thrombin brings about depolymerization of fibrinogen into its monomers. Later, thrombin stimulates repolymerization of this monomers into long insoluble fiber-like polymers called as fibrin. The thin, long and solid fibers of fibrin form a clot which seals the wound and stops bleeding. So that's how the bleeding basically stops, and that's where the clotting takes place. Now this prothrombinase catalyzes and breaks down to prothrombin, that is inactive plasma protein. Okay, this will break down to prothrombin into an active protein, which will convert to an active protein called as thrombin, and some small peptide fragments. Thrombin brings about depolymerization of fibrinogen. This will bring depolymerization of fibrinogen into monomers. Later, thrombin stimulates repolymerization. So then again it will stimulate repolymerization of the monomers, and there will be a polymer called as fibrin. This thin and long solid fibers of fibrin form a clot which seals the wound and stops bleeding. Now blood vessels. Three types of blood vessels are, there are three types, which are arteries, veins and capillaries. Okay, arteries are elastic vessels that transport blood away from the heart towards the body tissues. So it is elastic vessel and transports blood away from the heart. Transports blood away from the heart towards the body tissue. Toward the body tissue. Veins transport blood. These are the oxygenated blood which are getting transported. Oxygenated blood. Your veins transport blood that is deoxygenated to the heart. Okay? This is deoxygenated blood to the heart. In capillaries, now pulmonary vein is exceptional, conveys oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart. So in veins, the pulmonary vein is exceptional. Pulmonary vein is exceptional, conveys oxygenated blood from the lungs, oxygenated blood from lungs to the left atrium of the heart. To the left atrium of the heart. Veins contain valves which prevent the backflow of the blood. Arteries and veins are joined together by capillaries in the tissue. So arteries and veins are joined together by capillaries in a tissue. Walls of the arteries and veins consist of three layers. So there are three layers. Tunica interna is the first one. The innermost layer consisting of endothelium, innermost layer consisting of an endothelium and an elastic membrane, Second, tunica media, a middle layer of smooth involuntary, muscle and elastic fibers. Then third, tunica externa. An external layer consisting of loose connective tissue. So, walls of the arteries and veins consist of 3 layers named as tunica interna, tunica media, tunica externa. Now, interna is innermost layer consisting of an endothelium and an external membrane. Now, endothelium means the tissue which forms a single layer of cells lining various organs. So, suppose this is an organ, it will have a single layer of lining or as to cavities of the body, especially the blood vessels, heart and lymphatic vessels. It is formed from the embryonic mesoderm. So, this endothelium is formed by the embryonic mesoderm. Tunica media, a middle layer of smooth involuntary muscles and elastic fibers. Tunica externa, an external layer consisting of loose connective tissue. Coming on to heart. Mammalian heart is 4-chambered. So, mammalian heart is 4-chambered. Which is enclosed in a pericardium. In between the 2 layers of pericardium, a pericardial cavity is present filled with pericardial fluid. Heart has a right ventricle, left atria. Heart has right and left atria divided by an interatrial or 2 large veins. That is superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. So, heart has a right and left atria divided by interatrial or interauricular septum. It is divided by interauricular septum. Auricular septum. And right and left ventricle separated by an interventricular septum. Right and left ventricles divided by interventricular septum. Okay. So, right and left atria is divided by interauricular septum, right and left ventricle divided by interventricular septum. So, interauricular and ventricular. The right atrium receives 2 large veins, super vena cava and inferior vena cava. So, the right atrium receives 2 large veins, that is superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. The superior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from the head and upper region of the body. So, it gets deoxygenated blood from the upper body, that is your head and the upper region. The inferior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood. This gets from upper region. This gets deoxygenated blood from the lower region. The left atrium receives oxygenated blood from lungs via pulmonary veins. Left atrium will receive oxygenated blood from lungs via pulmonary veins. Left ventricle is thicker than the right ventricle because it has to push blood to all the body parts at a much greater pressure. The valve separating the left atrium and left ventricle is called the bicuspid valve or the mitral valve. So bicuspid valve or mitral valve. This valve is the valve separating the left atrium and the left ventricle. The valve separating the right auricle from the right ventricle is known as tricuspid. So this will separate which two? Left atrium and left ventricle. Tricuspid valve, this will separate right auricle from the right ventricle. Chordae tendineae are the special fiber cords. Chordae tendineae are the special fibrous cords attached to the flaps of bicuspid and tricuspid valves and are joined to the other ends with the papillary muscles. Joined by papillary muscles. Semilunar valves are present where arteries leave the heart. The valves of the heart maintain unidirectional flow of blood and prevent it decompensation in the opposite direction. So chordae tendineae are the special fibrous cords. Now double circulation is the passage double circulation is a passage of blood twice in the heart through separate pathways for completing one cycle. So it is basically a passage of blood twice in heart through separate pathways. They come from two separate pathways. For completing one cycle. To complete one cycle, it comes from two different pathways. The flow of deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs and the return of oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium is called as pulmonary circulation. So what is pulmonary circulation? The flow of deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs and the return of oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium is called as pulmonary circulation. The flow of oxygenated blood from the left ventricle to all parts of the body and deoxygenated blood from various body parts to the right atrium is called as systemic circulation. In man, the heartbeat is a myogenic, that is, contraction is initiated. It is myogenic, that is, contraction is initiated by a specialized patch of modified heart muscles, the sinoatrial node, that is the SA node, which is situated in the wall of the right atrium near the opening of the superior vena cava. The SA node acts as a pacemaker of the heart. So this acts as a pacemaker of heart. and thus establishes the basic rhythm at which the heart beats. This wave the heartbeat and thus establishes the basic rhythm at which the heart beats. This wave of contraction next reaches the atrioventricular node, that is AV node. It is pace setter, which is stimulated to emit an impulse of contraction spreading to the ventricles. There is no functional continuity between atria and ventricles. The only conducting tissue between the atria and the ventricle is the atrioventricular bundle. So atrioventricular bundle or the bundle of His or bundle of His. This is the only conducting tissue between atria and the ventricles. This bundle then divides into left and the right bundle branches. This will divide into left and the right bundle branches, one going to each ventricle with the myocardium of the ventricles. The branches break up into a network of fine branching anastomizing filaments or fibers known as Purkinje fibers. Cardiac cycle. Let's move on to cardiac cycle. The cardiac cycle consists of one heartbeat or one cycle of contraction and relaxation. So it is basically contraction and relaxation of the cardiac muscle. The cardiac cycle consists of one heartbeat or one cycle of contraction and relaxation of the cardiac muscle. The duration of cardiac cycle is 0.8 seconds. The successive stages of cardiac cycles are, there are successive stages to the cardiac cycle. First is atrial systole, then it is ventricular systole, and thirdly ventricular diastole. So atrial systole, the atria contract due to wave of contraction stimulated by the SA node. It is stimulated by the SA node and gets contracted. The blood is forced into the ventricles as the bicuspid and tricuspid valves open. So it is, the blood gets forcefully inside the ventricles when the bicuspid and tricuspid valves are open. Bicuspid and tricuspid valves open. Okay. Ventricular systole, the ventricles begin to contract due to a wave of contraction stimulated by the AV node. So here AV node stimulates it. The bicuspid and tricuspid valves close immediately, producing part of the first heart sound, that is love. So this bicuspid and tricuspid valve in ventricular systole closes and there is first heart sound called as love. When the ventricles complete their contraction, the blood flow into the pulmonary trunk and aorta as the semilunar valves open. Now ventricular diastole, the ventricles relax and the semilunar valves are closed. So ventricular relax and semilunar valves are closed. This causes a second heart sound, that is dub. The tricuspid and bicuspid valves open again when the pressure in the ventricles fall and the blood flows from the atria into the ventricles. Here the blood flows from the atria to ventricles and the bicuspid and tricuspid valves open. The volume of the blood pumped by each ventricle per minute is called the cardiac output. So cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped by each ventricle per minute. It is determined by multiplying the heart rate with the volume of blood ejected by each ventricle during each beat. which is called as the stroke volume. Cardiac output is equal to, this is equal to heart rate into stroke volume. So that is 72 beats per minute into 0.08 liter. So 72 beats per minute into 0.08 liter per beat is equal to 5.5 liters per minute. So blood pressure is the pressure against the wall of the blood vessel produced by the discharge of blood into them by contraction of the left ventricle. The blood pressure is high in the arteries, gradually drops in the arterioles and capillaries and becomes very low in the veins. It is measured from brachial artery by an instrument called as sphygmomanometer. The blood pressure is expressed as BP, that is 120 by 80 mmHg. Electrocardiogram, that is ECG. Electrocardiogram is graphic record of the electric current produced by the excitation of the cardiac muscles. The instrument used to record the changes is an electrocardiograph. So instruments which requires is an electrocardiograph. A normal electrocardiogram is composed of P wave, a QRS wave and a T wave. So P wave, QRS wave and T wave. It is basically a wave like this. P, which goes down a bit, and an R, and this is T. So this is P, then a Q, R, S, and this is T wave. So this is the waveform. The P wave is a small upward wave that indicates the depolarization of atria. This indicates the depolarization of atria, that is atrial contraction. It is caused by activation of SA node. The QRS complex begins after a fraction of a second of the P wave. It represents ventricular depolarization. So that is ventricular contraction is termed by QRS wave. The T wave is a dome shaped which indicates ventricular repolarization, that is ventricular relaxation. So disorders of circulatory system. Now there are some disorders, that is angina pectoris is a sudden recurring thoracic pain radiating to arms, especially left arm. When the demand for blood by the heart exceeds the supply of the coronary arteries, it can occur by excessive exercise, that is angina pectoris. So this was the first disorder. Second, myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction is the complication due to reduced blood supply to heart wall. It results in pain, perspiration, nausea, ECG changes. So infarction is basically not an heart attack or something. It is where the blood supply reduces and eventually it leads to heart attack. So this is myocardial infarction. Atherosclerosis is wall thickening and narrowing of lumen of medium and large sized arteries. In arteriosclerosis, yellowish plaques of cholesterol and other lipids are deposited within internal and intermedia of arteries. And then this is atherosclerosis. Now arteriosclerosis is sclerosis and thickening of walls of smaller arteries and arterioles. Arteriosclerosis proper is common in elderly person.